Oh, I lost Maria. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
This is Jennifer Sanchez, and here we have our guest, Shawn Wilson, and our co-host Maria Paloma. Woohoo! If you guys are watching this show, you guys know this is an interactive show. And if you don't know, you can definitely comment. We'll share your comments live on the air. So, who am I? I'm Jennifer Sanchez. I am the founder of the Women's Institute of Self Development and Efficacy. I know it's long, so just call it WISE for short. And I also am the creator of this show. It's weekly every Monday morning where we just like to talk about inspiration, conversation, motivation over a cup of coffee. That's who I am. So take it away, Maria. Introduce yourself.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Maria Paloma. I am a full-time second grade dual language teacher. So I'm officially on summer vacation. So that's why I'm so happy to be able to be here. And I was just thinking, I was here last December as co-host, and so I'm back. And I'm thinking I'm not gonna be able to come back till next summer, Jennifer, because now every the plan is to go back full time and like regular schedule, which we're all very grateful for. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think I'd be able to come. We actually start class at 7:20
Oh,
now. Well, we
wow.
we have to be in the building at 7:20, so it's early. Yeah, but I'm here now. I'm so happy to be here for this fun interactive show. So good morning, everyone.
Yay, good morning. And then, of course, we have Shawn Wilson. She is awesome. So let me go ahead. I know she sent me, if you don't mind, let me share your bio with the listeners so they know a little bit about you, and then you can go into a little more depth. Um, so, Shawn, her story, she's the founder. This is going to be a spicy conversation, you guys. The founder of the Bedroom Blueprint and one of the lead consultants with sexual health and lifestyle brand. After closing her salon in 2013, she embarked another way to empower women with beauty and sensuality through sexual health and wellness. So in these 8 years, she developed a team of sexual health and wellness consultants throughout the US. Like, I'm intrigued. I really am. And in two countries, and now she created a movement of sex positive and confident women who embrace their sensuality and is excited about their sexuality by creating their love style to live by. That's
Yes.
so Shawn, go ahead. Tell us a little bit more about yourself. I know.
Well, listen, I was always in the beauty industry, right? I had a salon for almost 30 years, and we talk about sex and relationships. We come to the salon so we can look good and feel good about ourselves all the time, right? That's what it's all about: your hair, your nails, your facials. And you do all of these things to feel good about yourself. However, on the sexual side of things, you don't. And you're not comfortable and you're not confident and you're not having great experiences. And why is that? That we do all of these things to make ourselves look good and feel good to attract sexual energy, but then you're not ready for it. And you're not getting the great experiences from it, right? So there's a disconnect
Mm,
there. I am there to connect that for you. So that is what
wow.
I do as a sexual health and wellness coach and a certified sexologist. So it's fun. It's fun. Bring it all
That's
together.
that
Yeah.
that that I'm I'm intrigued, a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure you get this comment all the time, right?
All
Because
the
it's
time.
like, right, people might not be 100% comfortable with these conversations, right? But this is exciting. This is very casual, so I'm excited. So if you guys are just jumping on, let us know who you are. Say good morning. And then, of course, we're going to go before we start getting into all these fun topics. We got to talk about coffee time. Um, this is the segment of the show where we just kind of go into what we're drinking this morning. I'm a big believer that the type of coffee you drink or tea or whatever you drink in the morning talks a lot about your personality. I think. So I'll let Maria go first and then we'll go with Sean.
Yeah, so I'm drinking my regular Kirkland coffee, so I don't know what that says about me. I'm very frugal, I guess, but I'm drinking out of my little cafe, BS Cafe Marianao cup, and they are friends of ours that have a Cuban restaurant here locally in Chicago, And so during the pandemic, we were really trying to support local businesses. So we were trying to go out to eat, at least once a week. I was blessed to have the job of a teacher. Believe it or not, yes, I was blessed because I was still working. A lot of people lost their jobs. And so I really felt, I told my husband, like, we really need to just give back a little bit. So we were trying to eat out, great excuse to get out of the kitchen. So, right. And they also have a coffee line, but I know that you support a coffee line. I can't remember the name right now, Jennifer. Maybe you want to talk about that. So,
Yeah, I do support a coffee and I'll share at the end, but it's Cafe Ama Love. So,
right, yeah.
um, and I'll share a little bit more about that in a second. So, Sean, go ahead, share with us what are you drinking this
I'm
morning?
just drinking coffee. Good old community, Louisiana community chicory coffee.
Yes.
I'm from New
Nice.
Orleans originally, so we have that chicory flavor coffee. So, I find it. I Whenever I'm there, I buy bags of it, and so community coffee, everyone.
Interesting. Interesting.
Nice. That's awesome. Do you put anything in that or is it just straight?
A little sugar and creamer. Hmm.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
so funny. I'm from the old school. We used to put pet milk. Remember pet milk? We used to put pet milk in our
Oh,
coffee. I
yes.
don't know if anyone remembers that, or am I
No.
dating myself?
I I didn't know that. That is awesome though.
Try pet milk in your coffee as your creamer.
Oh,
It's a different taste, but it tastes really good.
See, we always learn something new when we start talking about coffee. You're always like, "Oh, that you do that? That's awesome." Um, so and if you guys are watching, go ahead and share what you're drinking this morning. And I have my Create a Life You Love coffee. Well, it's not, it's the mug, and then I have the coffee. And our coffee, like Maria said earlier, we support and we partner together with an organization. It's Friends of Puerto Rico, and they have a coffee brand called Cafe Ama Love, which is actually a coffee that we promote on the air. You can get 20% off if you order through their website. It's a really strong, good coffee out of Puerto Rico, and the coffee will actually empower women and children through financial literacy and business workshops. So I thought, why not support an organization like this? So one of our members, cafeamalove.com, one of our members, she actually is I don't I guess like the spokesperson for Griselda. She's one of like the spokespersons for the coffee. So we promote that on the air. So that's what we're drinking. And I drink my coffee black, just straight black, no cream, no
Nice.
sugar. That's
So, what
I
does that say about you?
I guess you could say I'm
You're
health
bold.
I'm bold or health conscious or boring. I don't know, whatever you want to say. But I do I started actually I learned that from my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law for a little bit lived with me and she would drink black coffee. And she's big on like eating healthy and taking care of herself. So I said, okay, let me try it. And since then, I kind of just stuck to black coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do have Jamelette with us this morning. She said, good morning, ladies.
Good
We
morning.
have Ruby. Good morning. So, yeah, we have ladies jumping on here conversating. So, if you guys are jumping on, let us know what you're drinking. But we're definitely going to go into Father's Day. So, um, and I guess we can start off the conversation with how did Father's Day go? Right? What did you guys do for Father's Day? So I'll let Sean, our guest, go first and share a little bit of about what she did.
Well, I cooked for my father.
Mhm.
And so since I'm here caring for him, I did a roasted duck with some dressing.
Ooh,
And yeah, so we had dinner, and a couple of friends came over, and we just had a really good time. And it
nice.
was just nice. He has dementia, so you know it is what it is. But no, overall, it was a great, relaxing day. It rained here all day long, so it was one of
Mm,
those kind of eating, sleeping, watching movie days.
yeah.
And so it was really good. I enjoyed Father's Day.
Nice, nice. How about you, Maria?
So my dad passed away about 9 years ago. So I,
Mm.
think about him a lot every day, but today especially, right? But my father-in-law is still here with us. He's in his 80s, and so we spent the day with them, with my in-laws yesterday. So I got to see my sisters-in-law, some nieces and nephews, and all my kids went. I have three children, so they're adults, and of course, it was nice for everyone to see them because we just haven't been seeing anybody for
Yeah.
months. So it was just great to spend some time just laughing and you know hugging. We actually hugged and kissed. Like it was just the strangest thing. The conversation always turns to like, "Is it okay? Are you okay with this?" But yeah, it was a great time. So, and we got to spend it outside. It was a really nice day yesterday.
Yeah, nice. And you're this weekend I actually got to hug some people too,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's different, right? Like this is like now it's like getting normal to hug each other
Yeah.
somewhat. I guess I don't know about you guys, but I'm just like, oh my God, like we're hugging, we're saying hi, we're seeing people. Like it kind of feels a little off. I don't know.
yeah,
But we need it because we crave
yeah.
it, right? Our bodies need touch.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah,
live without it. So,
for
yeah, that
sure.
intimacy, that is a part of, that intimacy that we need in our
Yeah,
lives. So,
yeah,
Yeah.
touching is
Yeah.
important. Touching is important.
yeah,
So Sean, are you a hugger? I'm taking that
Yes,
you're a hugger.
I am.
yeah,
My love
Nice.
language is touch. Touch and
yeah.
time is my love languages.
Mm,
Those two.
yeah.
Makes sense. Actually, I love language too. My love language is also touch and time.
Yeah,
So I'm
give
there
me the
with you.
time. Spend the time with
Yeah,
me and touch me.
yeah,
Ah, nice, nice. This awesome. So as you guys are jumping on, let us know what you did for Father's Day, and then of course, we wanted to go into this conversation. Should moms claim
Mm,
Father's Day? I think this is a topic I've seen in social media. Some people are like, yeah, I celebrate my mother for Father's Day. She was a
yeah.
single mom.
mhm.
And then there's others that are like, you shouldn't be doing that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Should moms claim Father's Day? What do you
No,
guys
let
think?
pop. No, look, you get Mother's Day.
Yeah,
Kids love moms more than they love dads. They just crave their dads. But look, you are very important in a child's life. Give the fathers a day for themselves.
yeah.
We don't have to take it all. I know women like to be in control of everything. We don't have to be in control of that one. Let that one go.
Let
Yeah.
that one go. I like that. What about you, Maria?
I mean, I kind of agree with. I can see both sides. I guess I could say.
Hmm.
I agree with what Sean is saying. Like we do have our Mother's Day, and that's like huge. And I think dads kind of joke that it's bigger. I saw a lot of memes on social media. Like, wait, the restaurants are packed on Mother's Day, and why do I have to grill on Father's Day? Like, that's the way of the world. So you know but I mean, I also see the other side. We do have a lot of, I know personally, a lot of single moms who do both jobs. But I could even say me as a married woman, I did both jobs for a long time because he traveled all the time. He was like,
Mm,
I'm not going to say he was absent because he was home and he was a
Right.
present father, but he was just traveling a lot. So I had to do a lot of the, getting up early, getting ready for school, and taking to baseball, um, I'm
Yeah,
not,
I'm just gonna ask, but
I'm
what
not
is the
saying this
job? What is the job, right?
exactly
It's
right.
parenting.
It's parenting,
Whether
right?
you're a woman or a man, it's parenting, right? And so, what
yeah.
does that day really mean? This just means that, hey, you're my dad, and I'm celebrating you today. Not that because
Right.
you did something spectacular in my life. It's just, it's just a day to recognize men who have children or who
Yes.
care,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's all that it is. It doesn't mean that you have contributed anything to my life. It just means, hey, you got me here. Thank you.
Yeah, you did your part.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I guess with mothers, right? It's almost like Mother's Day. We give moms a break. Like that is, we're always the caretakers. Majority of
Yeah.
the gender role is kind of like you take care of everything.
Yeah, I was gonna
No,
say.
and Mother's Day is like the day. I don't know how other ladies feel, but like that's the only day you get to slack off.
Yes.
Right? So then I feel like, well, Father's Day comes around, like do we give them another opportunity to slack off? But
They've
like
been
fathers
slacking
are,
all along.
you know, but
Every day is Father's Day for them.
every day is Father's Day, right? So, um, yeah, it's funny that I saw that meme too, Maria. Like the fathers are grilling on Father's Day. Like I'm not gonna lie, my dad was doing that. Like he was grilling, like oops, like should I be? I'm not a good griller. Like I don't know if like I just don't desire to teach myself how to grill. Like I don't know how to light the charcoal. I'm just being honest. Like I let my husband figure that out. Like you do all that stuff. Like
Right.
I just give you the stuff and you grill it. So maybe I am playing into that gender role of like, moms don't do that. Don't so if you want to barbecue, you gotta do it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother conversation, right? That whole gender role.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, there are just
Yeah,
certain things that you take out the garbage and you wash the cars and you grill.
Yeah, you grill. And Mexicans, we're grilling arrachera, we're grilling steaks, we're grilling like all this extra
yeah, yeah,
stuff. Like we gotta provide the rice and beans. Like that's what, right? Like that's what we do on our part of the barbecue.
yeah,
So,
right.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
um, so I don't know if what you ladies think about, should moms claim Father's
No.
Day? No. Um and for me, I get it. Fathers should have, if you're a really good, outstanding father, you should have Father's Day. Like there
Yeah.
are dads that are amazing out there
Mhm.
and they deserve all the credit
Hmm.
for all their hard work because there are some fathers that are not present. There are some
Mhm.
fathers that are not around. There's some
Right.
women that never get to meet their fathers, or I mean, not women, but children. So,
Children. Yeah.
so when there is a good, outstanding dad, yeah, let's honor that man, right? Like, why
Right.
not?
And if not, just leave the day alone. I mean, it's no different than anyone that does not celebrate holidays because of their religion,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They're not going to say, well, I need to do it. No, I mean, it's just a day that's gone. So if there's no father around, hey, there's no celebration for Father's Day.
Mhm.
I mean, it's really kind of that simple. So
And
no, don't
I,
claim it.
I like how you simplify it. I like that. That's great. If there's no father, then don't celebrate it. And it is what it is. It's another day, you
Yeah.
know.
Mhm.
I have seen like if you really want to celebrate Father's Day, there's a heavenly Father. You want to celebrate, go
There
go
you
for
go.
that, right?
Right.
Um, so let's go into our next topic of conversation. I have Ruby before I go to the Ruby said mine too. She's touch and time.
Yes, Ruby.
Mary, she said no, women should not claim Father's Day. That's how Mary feels. And Mary has a really close bond with, she always talks about her dad. So
Yeah.
I know I could see why she says that. Um and then we have Mary says we don't expect men to claim Mother's Day.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
that's a good point. We want to be equal, right? So I get it. I get it. Okay, so let's go into our next conversation. And I know this is something that Maria loves.
Yeah.
I don't understand this solstice stuff. So you gotta
Yeah.
explain this stuff to me.
Yeah, and this all goes to, it happens, it happens, but we don't see it. And it's the change of the seasons. It has to do with the tilt of the earth and how it's facing the sun and all of that business. So it just the longest day of the year, summer solstice here in the northern hemisphere. It's the longest day, I should say the longest, the most daylight, the day, the longest day. But it also is symbolizing like new beginnings. You start over. Maybe it's a good time to start projects, but it's also um, the other biggest how can I say um, thing that's attached to it is the fertility, which is kind of like aligned with our conversation later this morning. But
Hmm.
it's also the a lot of people believe, and I'm one of those people, that the stars and the moon and the affects the tides of the waters on our earth, and all of that energy impacts us as human beings because we are also energetic beings.
Hmm.
So it really does affect you, even though you don't see it, and you may not even know that it's affecting you. So again, it's just a time for renewal. and then just a time to think of maybe it's a good time to start new projects. And like I said, it is symbolic of fertility because of that
So
rebirth.
is it a day or is it a season or is it a
So
like
it's a day
it's a
today.
day? Okay.
The summer solstice was actually yesterday. On the
Okay.
this 2021 was yesterday. So it happens twice a year. There's a summer solstice, and then I think a winter solstice, and then there's the equinox, which is also has to do with, there's 2 times a year. The equinox also happens twice a year. So again, it has to do with the rotation of the earth and the tilt of the earth and its association towards the sun. And a lot of that had to do with harvesting and planting. And a lot of people in the past, and I think maybe now still, they may plant and harvest during these times. So a lot of people followed those things in the past. I don't know that people still do, but
Well, I know biblically, like I know biblically, if those that like to like study theology or stuff
Mhm.
like that, right? They do talk about summer solstice and winter solstice, like because I'm assuming back in the day in Bible times, they weren't like summer, spring, fall, right? They were just like, oh, it's getting hotter around this time. So like the summer solstice, I'm assuming, right? I'm just like, I should look more deeper into it. So I know I've read it, and to this day, I'm like, what the heck does that mean? Right? Like, what does the summer solstice or
yeah,
these festivals that
yeah,
they would do in those times? Which makes sense. So you're basically saying, Maria, if you want to get knocked up, this is the perfect time to get knocked up, right? Like
probably go for
be-
it.
because of the energy, and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
rebirth, new birth.
yeah.
I can see that. So is there such thing as a spring solstice? No.
No, that would be the equinox. So there's two the equinoxes happen in the year, and then two solstices. So again, it has to do with the tilt of the earth towards the sun. So, and it's how
Cool.
close the earth is to the sun and the way the sun looks in the sky. So,
Cool. This
and
is
again,
a
it's all the energy force that's happening with all of that. So
cool. This
yeah,
sounds pretty cool. I mean, it sounds something that will go up, like Sean. This sounds like something
I
that
was
would
just
make
gonna
sense
say,
for
can you
you.
feel the energy? Like you said, we are we are energy
yeah,
beings. Wait a minute, Jen was like, wait, what? Can you know what I mean? Can you feel it? Is it like I always, like you can feel sexual energy, right? Can you feel this energy when things are changing, the atmosphere is changing, right?
mhm.
Is if you are in tune with who you are, do you feel what is so funny?
I just thought like maybe that's where the hot girl summer came from in my mind.
Right. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, yeah.
So, is there, if you are in tune with your body, do you feel some different type of energy going on within you? Like, even for fertility, does it make you hornier? Does
Yeah,
it bring you?
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, we're all looking forward to the summer season. Why? Because we get to do, more outdoor things. You feel
Hmm.
more free. You're wearing less clothing. Like you don't have to wear the ginormous jacket and gloves and hats and
Yeah.
scarves. Like you are just, it's just such a
Hmm.
time to be free and do, things that are outdoors and stuff like that. It's kind of and you do feel a different energy when you're doing those things and looking forward to that. Like I
Yeah.
said, we yesterday, we celebrated Father's Day. We're sitting outside very pleasantly, and then the storm came. It stormed pretty heavily here last night, and it was just so nice to feel that. It wasn't like I mean, it was a tornado watch, but it wasn't crazy blowing, but it was raining really, really hard here by my house. I love
Yeah.
the sound of that. Like I stood in my doorway and just kind of listened to it for a little while.
Yeah. Makes sense. This is something
Yeah.
definitely to look. I think
I'm gonna have to
it's
look at that
interesting.
and incorporate that into my.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Love
awesome.
it.
Well, if anyone has any feedback, write it in the chat. And then, of course, International Yoga Day. So, Maria, share
Mm.
what this is all about.
Yeah, so yoga has been around for thousands and thousands of years, right? And in the beginning, it was actually meant for monks. Like they were supposed to go into this like long, meditative state, like days or months, but then it came to the Western world by certain people, which I don't know their names, but they brought it as a way of exercise. And I think it has lost its true meaning,
Mm.
because yoga is also a lifestyle. It's not just, oh, I'm going to go do yoga because I'm doing that thing on the mat. Yoga really is a philosophy of how you carry yourself and how you live your life. And again, going back to like that energetic energy that we carry, you know,
Mm.
um, and again, connecting it to the summer solstice, it's a time for beginning. I follow this woman online, and she sent us a message yesterday, and she said this is, the solstice is a seasonal marker, right? So she says we reflect on the peak moments we've experienced during our lives, especially the ones from the first half of this year. That's kind of like a marker, right?
Mm.
And then it invites us to embrace the magnetic nature, which is what I was referring to, that magnetic nature of everything that surrounds us and all that energy. So,
Mm.
um, then she just says, go on from one sun lover to another. This is a great season. But yoga in and of itself, I also learned from a teacher that, you know, as Catholics or Christians, and I talked about this in one of my lives, my live presentation in your channel here, that we are told their body is your temple, and we should respect it and treat it well. And then when we don't, we feel bad, we feel guilty, like, oh man, I'm eating bad, or I'm smoking, I'm drinking, I'm not treating my body like I'm supposed to because it's my temple. There's a lot of guilt associated with that. So she said, change the mindset and look at your body as your home, because we live in it, and it's a container, and it has all of our emotions and our experiences, right? And we carry these around with us all day long, every single day of our lives. However, if we look at it as our home, now we have a chance to change things. We
Mm.
decorate, we change the furniture, maybe we paint, maybe we move. We move from an apartment to a home, from a ranch style to a mansion, and we travel. So our home becomes different. So we change the mindset. Now our body is our home, that we have that opportunity to make changes and improvements. You know,
Mm.
so that's what I've learned through yoga. And the biggest thing that I love to share is, the thing we do on the mat. And I say the thing because it's everybody does something different. Your asana is your yoga practice on the mat. That's the
Mm.
exercise part that people say that see it as exercise. So that's the asana. So asana should be a way for you to release past things. You move
Mm.
also to release that
Got it.
energy. And then you use your breath to stay present, to be grateful for what you have in this moment. And then you meditate, because now you want to create your future. So those are the three parts of yoga, which is your
Wow.
movement, your breath, which keeps you present, and then meditation, which is really reflecting and being introspective, and like, what have I done? Where am I now, and where am I going? So
Mm.
those are just the things that I've learned through yoga. And I really, when I talk about yoga, I want to impart this on people, because a lot of times they're like, oh, I don't do yoga. But it's not doing yoga, it's being, really being, in that yoga becomes a lifestyle.
Mm.
Love, love,
That's
love,
my
love.
spiel, my soapbox for the day.
Wow.
So I hope
Yeah.
people will get a chance to maybe, today read up a little bit on the solstice and the seasonal markers, or maybe even what is yoga all about, and maybe you can try looking into it.
Love it.
Cool.
Plus, it's, again, we're talking about that sexuality, like, yoga makes you very flexible.
You
And
know,
okay,
that
that's
is
all I'm
true.
gonna say. Okay.
No, it really does. It really does. And it also moves energy around,
Oh,
especially in that
absolutely.
pelvic
Yes.
area. But what was interesting, all of the things that you were saying are the things that I kind of talk about too, right? When you talk about the guilt around sensuality and
Yes.
sexuality, the mindset of it, right?
Mhm.
That it's a lifestyle. I call it a love style, right?
Mhm.
Is how you create being
Mm.
present in the moment of your sensuality and of your sexual experiences, being right there present with it. You have to create what you want to receive from people. You also have to be open to receiving it, right? Whatever that
Yeah,
energy
yeah,
is, right? And so, and it's just a state of being. So everything that you were saying around
yeah.
yoga
Mm.
really deals with your sensuality, right? And knowing that sensuality and sexuality are two totally different things,
Hmm.
right? I like to focus on your sensuality first,
Mm.
and then you make better sexual decisions,
Cool.
right? And so that love style deals with, who you are as a woman, who you want to be, what you want to receive, what does it look like? We go into these relationships with these very tangible things,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And instead of just enjoying the experience for what it is,
Hmm.
right? If people could just enjoy the experience, because really it's around you, it's not around someone else
Yeah, yeah.
making you feel good, right? It's about how you feel about yourself and how you allow other people to experience your joy about yourself. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, for sure. Yes.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
if we can get in that space,
Hmm.
we won't be so disappointed by others.
Wow. No, that's great. Yeah.
Because I always
Okay.
say I have a great sexual experience no matter who I'm, you know,
Yeah.
I have never had a bad sexual experience
Hmm.
because it's about me and I enjoy the experience and
Hmm.
I have allowed you to enjoy that experience with me,
Yeah.
That
right?
is interesting.
I love it. Yeah. And I like I mentioned, my children are older, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I worry about them in terms of like them finding a good partner. Like
Hmm.
dating nowadays is so hard. It's just so hard. I find,
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends who are older, like in their 30s, mid 30s, and they don't have a partner, or they tell me how hard it is for them to meet people in a
Mm.
real, genuine way. And I
Mm.
think
Yeah,
social media has really corrupted that,
that's
because
true.
everything is just how you look on social media. And I wish that exactly what you just said, Sean, to just remove yourself from that and be present in that moment when you meet someone, rather than like, what should I post about this tomorrow? you know
Yeah,
Instead of just being there and getting to know
Mm.
people on that very basic level of, we're here right now, let's get to know each other, versus
well,
Wow.
it's
yeah, I don't
interesting that
know.
you say that with the social media piece. It's because, right, the hookup culture, she was saying.
Yeah,
But what is happening is also is no one connects in real time in
yeah,
person with people,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
We have built this whole network of friends on
Yes.
social media, and we really do feel like you're friends of ours because we communicate on this thing right here,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
right? But when do we ever get together and be in each other's energy? So we're missing that
Yeah,
energy part of it,
right.
right? That true
Mm.
connection that you have with someone where you can
Mm.
actually smell the pheromones, their
Yeah,
scent, that attraction,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You don't get that. So everything is very superficial now. And young people just don't seem to have any desire for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have talked to a lot, like millennials right now.
Mm,
They're
yes.
least bit interested. STDs are down, pregnancies are down because they're not even getting together. They don't want to have sex. They don't want
Mhm.
to get married.
Yeah,
It's a whole nother
yeah,
generation out here.
yeah.
So,
It is.
I want to bring it back where, everyone understands that we need that connection. Yeah,
Mhm.
we need that
Sure.
connection. I don't think people realize how much we need that intimate
Yeah,
connection with a partner.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think even connection with each other
Mhm.
not even in a sexual manner or
Yeah.
relationship,
Mhm.
right? Because like our community, when we first started, Sean, our community, we would meet monthly. And
Mhm.
women loved it. Like they
Yeah.
would gather and it was like chit chat time, and we would always do it over breakfast. It was always like a breakfast. Majority of the time, I would have evenings, but majority of the time it was like a breakfast type thing, and like the women loved it. And then when the pandemic hit, I had to make a shift. I had to
Mhm.
change it all up, like everyone else. Like probably you did as well, right, Sean? Like you
Mhm.
went all virtual,
I
you
went
went
all
all
virtual.
Zoom. And what I found is the women that did gather regularly fell off, right?
Mhm.
Like I actually embarked on a new audience. You know, some of course still stay, like Maria, she's been around for a while, so she knows what I'm talking about. And a couple ladies that are watching have been around for a while, but now we get different women who are okay with meeting virtually. And
Right.
but it is, I noticed that the women still crave that intimate connection, that one-on-one. The same reason like when you had a hair salon, or you know, your beauty salon, you know, you guys chit chat, hang out, you get
And
to like,
touch,
yeah.
right? You touching their hair, you touching their hands for an
Mhm.
hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So well then that's a great segue, since we're talking about touching hands, right? National Handshake Day.
Yes.
uh
So, so
so go
Did
ahead,
I
Maria.
set you up for that perfectly?
That was
it
perfect.
does. I'm telling you. So when I was coming on this month, I just Googled a bunch, like what's going on in the world, and I
Yeah.
found National Handshake Day. I'm like, what a thing, but then it made me think, how is that changing nowadays? Especially the pandemic, first of all, nobody was
Yeah.
touching at all. But now even coming back, we're all like, oh, hey, how are, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
we don't know. Should I shake your hand? Should I hug you? Like, we don't know how to behave anymore. And I did read something recently that they were saying, I guess they surveyed doctors, and like it was a great majority of them that said they will never shake hands with people ever again
Oh
because
Mhm.
my.
of the transmission of possible viruses, just
Yeah.
because they're just more cognizant of it, right? And that made me think, like, wow. And a handshake, traditionally is like that message you're sending, with you're interviewing for an employment, or you meet
Right.
for the first time, or the way a man shakes, the way a woman shakes, like all of those things traditionally, like what is going to happen with that, and how are people feeling about that? Like I'd be curious to see, even the ladies here today, like what are you thinking? Do you kind of feel okay just shaking some stranger's hand when you first, oh, nice to meet you, and I'm like, you don't know, I don't,
Yeah.
kind of
I
wonder about
personally never liked it. I'm a germaphobe. So
that.
me touching your hands and
Yeah.
watching, like you can't even, go in my kitchen. You don't open up someone's refrigerator and have them wash their
Yeah.
hands, or go in the
Yeah.
bathroom with shoes on. It's
Yeah.
just a whole nastiness out there.
Mhm.
So I don't care if we ever shake anyone's hands again. I would like to hug you before I shake your hand, because I don't have to,
Yeah.
physically touch you. I mean, people blow their nose and they go to the bathroom and don't. They come from outside. When
Yes.
I had my salon, the first thing you had to do when you came into the salon was wash your hands. And it
Mhm.
would be interesting when people say, well, I just washed my hands when I left my office.
Mhm.
Right, but you touched the elevator door, the door to get into the building. You did all of these things. Really? Are we fussing about you washing your hands? Go wash your damn hands. Right. And so I'm okay with not washing. I mean, with not shaking hands again.
Mhm. Mhm.
Honestly.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you were doing that before the pandemic,
For
maybe.
30 years, you had to
Wow.
wash your hands before I
That's
did your
great.
nails.
Wow. So you were already like, this is nothing to you, because I know a lot of businesses now
Nothing,
they ask that, wash your
nothing
hands,
for
which,
me.
wow, that's amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, I I I personally, I guess I don't mind handshaking. I just have hand sanitizer in my pocket, and then when I'm done, like I'll
Yeah.
clean my hands.
But
But I,
even with that,
Yeah.
Jennifer, I need
Yeah.
soap and water. I want the dirt off. I don't want to just mix the dirt in my hand and let it dry there. I need to wash my hands.
Yeah.
it
And
makes sense.
so, and if I'm eating, like people would come up to me at a dinner table or something and say, hi, I want you to introduce and I'm eating.
Yeah.
Why would I shake your hand while I'm
Mm,
eating?
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it, honestly. I don't ever have
yeah.
to.
I'm with you on that. I'm okay with it. Yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know. I don't know. I mean, you
yeah,
could
take
tell.
off.
I'm okay with handshaking. I really don't have an issue with it. I get it. I understand it. Like
Right.
it makes total sense. But
Mhm.
something about a handshake, when you shake
Mhm.
someone's hand, you can tell. Like I hated those flimsy hands.
Yes.
You know, like when you shake someone's hand and it feels like
Yeah.
you're doing this, I'm like, bro, like please shake my hand,
Yeah.
give me a firm grip, like
Right.
you're about business.
But do
That
you think they're doing that because they really don't want to shake your
they
hand?
don't want to
It's
shake my hand.
like, oh, let me, okay.
That that may well then that logic makes sense, right? Because me, and like when I used to do what did I used to do? Career coaching and stuff like that in the nonprofit, I knew like you better give that person a firm grip, right? Like we
Yeah,
would train our students
Yes.
mentally, like don't be doing that flimsy stuff, like grab that hand and then go wash your hand afterwards, whatever, right? But
right.
I I get it. I get it, but I think like, dang, you really need handshaking for the for corporate America, for business. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't see it completely leave. Like for me, I guess now I don't care. Like I meet people through virtually, like,
Yeah.
and when we do meet face to face, what did we used to do, Maria? We used to elbow each other. Like
Mhm.
we could, when the pandemic hit, Sean, we
Yeah.
didn't hug each other. We would give
mm,
each other elbows.
yeah. I'm okay with
So
that.
Yeah. I think that's gonna change. I really think that that's gonna change.
yeah, it probably will. It makes
Yeah.
sense. I can see
Yeah.
that. So wait, let me show these comments because I know we're having comments here and I haven't showed them. So we have Mary, this is from the a topic back. It's sad day for me now that we are away to winter and shorter days.
Yeah,
Um I think we were talking about like the winter solstice. I think that's what we were
Mhm.
still talking about. And Nara said weird. Uh Nara said could tell time by sun placement when to plant
Yeah.
crops.
Yeah.
Makes
right.
sense.
Yeah,
And then she was agreeing with us on like after the whole summer solstice. Very true, spot on. Then she went into hookup culture. I guess that's where the young people are
mhm,
at. Um, and then, of course, she said so many great memories when we used to hang out with each other. Mary said, I am not a handshake person, but a hugger. That is killing me.
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I have seen too many people leave bathrooms and not wash their
Yeah.
hands.
Not good.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
is gross.
Yeah.
Sanitizer does not remove every. True, true. I can see. I get that. I'm a hugger. It's 99.9% of germs that get killed. Your bottle she says. I'm a hugger with friends and family, but I definitely feel more hesitant with strangers now. I like the 6 feet distant and no handshaking with people I don't know. As my kids say, some people are nasty.
And
Yep.
Mhm.
you know what's interesting about that? Like, if I go to a restaurant, right? Or if I'm out with the first thing I do, I sit when they take me to my table, is I go to the bathroom and wash my hands.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? People
Yeah.
will come from out there, sit down at a restaurant, and then begin to eat their food.
Yeah.
It's just everybody just be
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah, I mean it's hygiene and I get it. Like I wash my hands too. Get to a restaurant, go wash your hands, especially if you've been out and about.
Yeah,
Um, Nara said age-old handshake rule: make the thumbs kiss. I didn't know that one, but that
I
one's
didn't know that one. No.
now make the thumbs kiss. Now I'm trying to like figure it out when you
Yeah.
handshake.
I
When
know.
do the
Me too.
thumbs touch? But I like that. I like that. So I could see why it might go away, and I agree with Ruby. I think it was nice to not.
Yeah.
I like touch, but I'm also hesitant with certain people. Like
Mhm.
like you go to these networking events. Sometimes like awkward people try to hug, and it's like stop it. Like I don't know you like that. Like
Yeah.
why? All right, But sometimes people just naturally, like you said, are huggers, and they just want to hug, and like
Yeah.
even if you're a brand new person, right? So I like the whole 6 feet distance. Like I was enjoying it a lot. I was enjoying the mask. I'm not even gonna lie. I was enjoying
Me
masks. Like
too. Me too. I still wear mine when I'm
I
out.
still wear mine too. Like no one knows who you are. You don't gotta have makeup on, right? Like
I have
I've
clear
had
ones. No.
oh, you wear the clear ones? No, I like it for the like no one knows me factor, because I've had too many times where I leave the house and I'm looking a little bummy, like, cuz I'm just trying to run errands and I'm just trying to like get things out of the way. So that hides me. You won't know who I am. You won't
Yeah.
know. I've had some embarrassing moments where I'll go somewhere and someone from the business world is there. I'm like, shoot, I don't look like how I regularly look. Like how they
Wait a
see
minute, I
me.
have on a mask.
Um,
Goodness, that's funny.
Oh,
yeah,
right, Nara. Right. Okay, I
the
got you. Right. When you shake hands,
skin.
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I got
that's
you.
what I thought it had to like the
Me too. I was
Italian.
like,
yeah.
how does that work? Right.
We're
But
all
I
doing
got
that.
you.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yes.
one. I
Mm.
get that. All right. Well, let's go into the spicy conversation.
Mhm.
I wanted to. Yeah, Sean got some spicy topic for us to talk about. Like, so my question is, how do women get empowered through sensuality and sexuality? Like, that's my first
Yeah,
question, because,
yeah.
and we can go into that.
Yeah. So sensuality is really about you, right?
Hmm.
Sensuality is not about what you wear. We have gotten into this whole notion now, right? Everything is sexualized, but sensuality is your senses.
Mm.
How do you taste the food that you eat? Are you whiffing it down so fast that you don't even remember eating it?
Mhm.
Right? When you're out, what you see, do you really take in the beauty around you? Right? When you're listening to music, is it music that you can really feel and feel good about? Right? It
Mm.
is all of those things that make you tap into who you are. That's sensuality. And
Oh.
sensuality gives you confidence.
Mhm.
Right? If you're sitting at like I be making noises when I'm eating, honey. I can be like, this is so good. Right. So can you imagine you're out with someone on a date, right? And you order some food and it's like, oh my goodness, this is delicious. And you are taking it in. Can you imagine what they are thinking as they're watching you? Like, wow, she's very confident in who she is. So you sit here like, did you taste this? Taste it. This is so good, right? You gotta, just like in sex. If you're laying there and you're not saying anything, are you feeling what is
Mhm.
happening with your body during that time? Or is it just an act?
Mhm.
It's another
Mm.
activity that you're doing,
Mhm.
right? So you have to be present in everything that you do and who you are. Right, Harry? That's all.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yes. Right, Harry Met Sally, right? That orgasm right there. But you have to be present. And so once you do that, you're able to create, when we say a love style to live by, everyone's love style is different. Everyone
Mm.
doesn't like the same things, they don't want the same thing. It is about what you want for your life in and outside of the bedroom. And when
Mm.
you master outer course and everything that happens outside of the bedroom, once you get to the bedroom, it's a different experience for you. It's even in how you choose the partner that you're with,
Mhm.
right? We're making bad decisions. We have now come to this casualness of sex where I'm like, where did that begin? Right?
Mm.
So no one is truly having these great experiences or even how they think about sex, right? It's this thing that everyone craves and they want, and it makes you act a fool sometimes, right?
Mhm.
But when you ask people about sex, I had asked someone about how do you talk to your children about sex? I
Mhm.
give it to them raw. I tell them to, be. And I was thinking, wow. So over here, it's an issue that you're trying to protect them from.
Mhm.
But
Mm.
over here, you're sad and lonely and depressed and in need and craving this thing,
Mm.
right? So we're so confused in our heads around sexuality and sensuality and the beauty of it and the intimacy of it,
Mhm.
that we just can't get to the next stage. So we have to hone in on intimacy,
Mhm.
all the shades of intimacy, and understanding what your love language is so you can create that love style for you to live by, that's going to be pleasurable for you and for someone else entering into that space. I hope that makes
That
sense.
Yeah.
and I guess, Maria, if you have any questions, because I'm all these questions are popping in my head right now, and I'm just like, I want to, So if you guys have questions, write it or ask it.
Mhm.
Um, so you saying, just so that I understand correctly, like let's say sensuality,
Yeah.
like the perfume that we wear, like you really like the perfume that you wear. That's part of
Mhm.
the senses, right? Like it
Right.
smells really good on you. Someone else smells you. They also like that smell. Like, is that kind of like where we're going with the senses?
Right. But you're buying it for you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's
Gotcha.
about you. When you sit down, how visually pleasing do you like your meal? Like, I love a dining experience. I'm not a fast food eater.
Mhm.
Mm.
I will not, I have not had a McDonald's burger, and I can't tell you how. I do not do fast food. I like to sit down and be served and have a presentation of a beautiful plate,
Mhm.
Mm.
right?
I
So
think I.
the Mhm. Go
Oh, go
ahead.
ahead. Okay. Yeah, I think I was going to add that what you are saying about sensuality and using all our senses to take in this experience, whatever it may
Mhm.
be, like
Yeah.
sitting down for dinner or walking through the park or whatever you're doing, and that when you are present and then you feel that confidence within you, and it's like you're saying, so this morning I did my hair, I put makeup on, a little bit of lipstick, got a nice shirt, because how I want people to see me, right? And it's what you're saying, Jennifer, right? You run into people like, oh dang, I'm not dressed, because you want people to see you a certain way, right?
Mhm.
And I think what you're saying is that translates into confidence, which then
Well,
now you're
right.
releasing this energy,
Mhm.
where people kind of like, ooh, or maybe if I'm trying to attract somebody, now it's a different energy that I'm sending, not necessarily like, I'm interested in you and I want you to take notice of me for this other reason. I just want you to take notice of me, right?
No,
Because
let
of
me
the
let me put,
confidence.
let me give
Yes.
a little deeper insight on that. The one thing that you said was you got up and you did your hair, you put on some makeup and a nice shirt, so how people can see you.
Yes.
No, it's about how you see yourself.
Okay.
Mm.
I do this for me
For
because I
me.
want to look good for me. I want to show up as my best for me. Because
Okay.
when I'm my best for me,
That's
right,
where it
my
starts.
Good.
confidence is raised.
Got it.
Yeah.
My energy it's about me.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Perfect. Yeah.
When we put
Yeah.
it on someone else, that's where we start to run into problems.
I get what you're saying. Got it.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's for yourself.
Yeah.
So you're
Mm.
And
getting up every day. When you walk out the door, you want to feel it's like putting on Sunday clothes, your Sunday best,
yes.
right? Your church clothes. Remember when we had to put on a church, how we felt? Or that first day of school, when you went shopping for your school clothes. Those first few weeks of school was fantastic because you had on new things and you were looking good and feeling good, right? But then it gets old, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
But
No,
you
I,
know
I,
how
I,
good you feel. So you have to really hone into you. What makes you
mm,
feel good
Yes.
about you and your experiences. Mhm.
nice, nice. So I have the comments here. Ruby said, I'll have what she's having. So
Yeah.
quotes. Um, when we get sexy for ourselves first, we will be sexy to others.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
for ourselves.
Mhm.
Others will pick up on our energy, but it's not for others.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Right. Right. Right.
Nice. So I think this is great. And then we can go into the next question that I have, which,
Mhm.
you keep mentioning the create a love
Yeah.
style. So what, right? We have lifestyle. What is a love style? Is that like part of the love language or what is that?
It's all of that, right? And so when we start talking about intimate experiences, what does that look like for you?
Mm.
Right? What are some of the things that you really want to experience with your partner? right? We have all of these things out here in the ether where it's telling you, Netflix and chilling shouldn't happen. If that is how do you express yourself in an intimate way,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Do you really share your desires and hopes and dreams with a person? And if so, why
Mhm.
not? That's intimacy, right? So it's really tapping into all intimacies, right? How you show up. How do you express, like if you said you went on vacation, right? How do you share that experience with someone,
Mhm.
right? And so we are not expressive in our intimacies the way that we should be to
Mhm.
attract that energy back to us. So it's really, what do you want out of life?
Mhm.
Right? What do
Mhm.
you want in intimate experiences? I stick in the intimate experiences because that is what we crave so much, our
Mhm.
intimate experiences with people. And that doesn't have anything to do with sex, right? When you ask people about their first intimate experiences, they tell you how horrible their first sexual experience was.
Mm.
Intimacy is about that connection that you have with someone in yourself.
Yeah.
So, how do you start to create that? Right? I take you through a series of, questions and exercises to see what it is that you really want for yourself
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
a relationship, an intimate relationship. You have to know what that is, or you'll be
Mhm.
lost. And you just settle for anything that comes your way. And you can create it and people buy into it.
Mhm.
People buy
Mm.
into that energy, right? When you're around someone that's magnetic, you want to be around them.
Mm. Okay.
As they say, set yourself on fire, people come and watch you burn, right? Set yourself
That's
on fire.
Yeah.
that's a good point. And I guess my question to you is, right? Do you work a lot with, and this is just curiosity, or do you
Yeah.
work mainly with married couples? Do you work with single? Like,
Mhm.
what is the area that you, so because you're a sexologist, so I'm like
Correct.
trying to think like what could that be, right? Like
Right.
I have my assumptions, but I
Right.
don't know.
So it's funny. I started out as a sex expert, a sex toy expert, right? And so I worked for this company. Um, that we sell intimate products. But as I was going along this journey, one of our mentors in this company was a gynecologist and a sexologist. And she was like, you know what? You really need to take this further and become a certified sexologist. Went through a program and studied up on all of this stuff. It was really interesting because you dealt with people dealing with illnesses and grief and divorce. All of that plays a part in your sexuality, right? And your sensuality and how you feel about yourself. And so, how do you deal with all of those things? I deal with both women and couples. I have a lot, actually, I'm starting to increase in male consultants for my business. It's really interesting because men really want to know how to please you. And they have great questions. I love working with men. But yes, if you're a couple, I help you get back to being present with each other and a deeper connection with each other. Women mainly is because, we're kind of high power now these days. And, we are taking ourselves out of that intimate space,
Mhm.
right? Because we're so focused on sex that we forgot about sensuality. We've taken on this male role. I believe in when you were talking about gender roles. I am a firm believer. I like me and a lady, and so I like a man to be a man. I like a woman to be a woman. I don't want to, be in the movie theater saying, "Excuse me, can you move down so me and my man can sit?" I see that all the time, right? Or you walk into
Mhm.
a restaurant and you walk up and you have the woman table for two, and can it not be up under the fan? And can it be over there? And can you? And the man just sitting there following you around. That's not a good look. We have to allow people to play their roles out.
Mm.
And so with single women or women, I just help you get back your sensuality
Mhm.
and being okay in that space of being submissive. And submissive does not mean you're taking no crap off of anyone. It just means softening it a little bit.
Wow.
That's all it is. It's softening it a little bit because they don't hear you. People don't hear you until you do that. So you can't show up in a man's world as a man, and you're not a man.
Mhm.
Right? We
That's
can
I have a quick
communicate
interesting.
question.
differently.
I have a quick
Hmm.
question. So, you're mentioning, that you get to that intimacy level of like
Yeah,
telling people your dreams and that. So, do you touch upon vulnerability because that's
absolutely.
opening yourself up and being real, and that's scary.
And here's the thing:
So,
if
how
we
do
can,
you approach that?
absolutely, one is not saying opening yourself up. I
Okay.
am who I am. I am who I am. These are the things that I dream for, desire, and crave. And if you can't deal with that, guess what? I need to get to the no as soon as possible.
Hmm.
So if
Mm,
I go scare you off, let me scare you off right here, right now. So you can move on and I can move on and find someone that will embrace who I am because I am who I am. You have to
mm,
be comfortable and confident in who you are.
Okay.
And so
mm,
if you are afraid of me sharing with you
Hmm.
my ideas of what a great life and lifestyle I want, you're either
Hmm.
going to buy into that and say, damn, I want to go along for that ride, or you're going to say, that's too
Yeah.
much for me because I'm just, do you want to be with that person?
Hmm. Right. Yes, of course.
So let's get to the no as soon as possible. Don't be afraid of the no. It's okay. Everybody's not for you.
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good way of putting it. See, and I guess, the world has and I come from like a faith-based background. Like
Yeah.
the world has perverted
Yeah.
sex. Like
Yes.
it's gone like extreme. Like you got these like pornography and everything sexualized, and it almost seems like it's a lot of
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
fake stuff out there that can really hurt relationships,
Sure.
right?
Hmm.
Sure.
So with your area of expertise,
Mm-hmm.
and what do you tell women that could have like the world perverted sex for them in the sense of like they could have been raped or some trauma
Right.
behind it, or even this perverted like pornography that's associated with sex for them, like
Right.
how do you work with someone like that? I'm just curious.
Again, is back to sensuality. Is getting them to be okay with themselves because in the abuse situation, right, it's a power thing, and so they see it a little differently.
Hmm.
Some people just totally remove themselves from the intimate experience, and some take on this very kind of I'm going to get you before you get me aspect of it, right?
Mm.
And so you kind of dominate the relationship through sex. You use it as a tool, right? And so you deal with that issue of it to really hone down on what is it that you really want for yourself in an intimate space. You got to get people to think about it a little bit because they haven't thought about that, right?
Mm.
And once you can get back into that space of, wait a minute, that was something that happened, but it does not define who I am as a sensual and sexual person. I had no control over that situation,
Hmm.
right? But
Mm.
now I can make better decisions around who I'm around, what do I do, and not that things can't happen, but you want to be present and not let that,
Mm.
get you stuck in a place where you can't move forward and find true connection because you can still find someone and still not have an intimate experience because you don't know what that looks like, right? You haven't experienced true intimacy. So it's about me helping you. And in that instance, if you're with someone, I have to bring in your partner too, because they have to understand where you are in that intimate space and to be somewhat patient with you, you know.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. So, let me share some comments here. We have Narsh said you're bringing sexy back, Sean. LOL. Then we have finger snaps, and then of course, some sex workers do that. So, yeah, I mean, I don't understand like what the sex workers do, but I'm assuming it's all about the sensuality and the intimacy, or the that's what she's referring to. So, um, yeah, I mean, I guess Sean, what if someone wants to reach out to you
Mhm.
or connect with you? Where would they go? Like if they wanted to get to know you?
Yeah, everything is the bedroom blueprint. The bedroom blueprint, not bedroom blueprint, but the bedroom blueprint. My website, Instagram, my Facebook, all of that is the bedroom blueprint. I'm putting together content now because I was not a big social media user, but now I'm getting ready to get into it, you all. Every Wednesday, I do a talk, and every Wednesday, I also have a little game night party that I do. And I actually just posted it in my group, and we posting it on the Facebook page. But yeah, join in, have these conversations around sex and sexuality. I really focus on the sex side of it because I just want you to have great sexual experiences, right? But
Okay,
to do that, I do cover sensuality and sexuality because it goes hand in hand. So the
nice.
bedroom blueprints, everyone. Mhm.
Nice. So let me write this down. The bedroom, that's the name of the group, right?
Everything. My website is www.thebedroomblueprint.com. Facebook page is The Bedroom Blueprint.
Oh,
Instagram is The Bedroom Blueprint. Right?
okay.
Twitter, The Bedroom Blueprint.
Okay, there we go. So you guys know the blueprint.com and then all the social media
Mhm.
platforms, the bedroom blueprint. So this is awesome. So you guys can find Sean there if you have more questions, or do you do any free consultation one-on-ones, or like do you have like, a lot of coaches have like, here's my cheat sheet or my free webinar, or, do you
Yeah,
offer
I
anything?
do not do that. I haven't had to do that because I am really busy. I do tell people though, especially if you're in the Chicago or Florida area, or we can do something virtually. I do parties, right? And it does, even though they're traditionally, as you all call them, sex toy parties, it's really not. It's really an education around sensuality and sexuality, but there are shopping parties. And so, book a party with me and have all your friends get on a Zoom call or something like that, and we can have some fun, learn some things. You shop for some amazing products, but you learn a lot about yourself, relationships, and your body along the way. So I always tell people, book a party with me and let's have some fun.
Nice.
That's a cheaper way to get information, or you can, pay my hourly and let's go.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with
Mhm.
us. Um I appreciate the content. I think a lot of women are probably uncomfortable with this topic, or
Sure,
I mean society in itself might be.
sure.
Have you ever had anyone like run away or just feel like, "Oh my god, I can't talk about this." Like I'm
No.
just like everyone's been pretty open, or no one like.
They're open once I start talking. Here's the thing. People think that when you going to do something, like even at my parties, after the first 10 minutes and they realize, oh, wait a minute. One, we're not seeing anything that's, crazy.
Mhm,
Oh, and she's really talking from an educational perspective.
mhm, mhm.
So people have this mindset, this already preconceived notion of what it is that they think they're going to see and hear. And it's not that at all. It is truly empowerment and education around sexual health and wellness. That is what it is that we do. And so you have to understand that in going to it because you want it, you crave it, you desire it,
Mhm.
right? And
Wow.
that's what I said in the beginning about the disconnect of you have all of this desire for it, yet you something wrong. Oh, I don't want to. Oh, I'm gonna run away. Oh, it's something nasty. Ooh, really?
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is what you've been doing? So why not get the information? Get the information that you need, right? And let me say this last tip: porn is just entertainment. It's not reality.
Yes,
Stop it.
exactly. Yes.
I love that. It is. It's not.
Yes.
I'm like
Yeah.
people have, and it sucks because like you grow up and like let's say like kids are impressionable, or
Yeah.
and then they think this is what intimacy is supposed to
Right.
be, but it's just
Right.
like it's not reality, right? It's like, so yeah,
You know
definitely.
what's funny? I did a call with it was about 15 guys. And do you know they all said we were talking about, the freak level, like what do you consider a freak and the things that women do to you? None of them said they would marry the freak. They will have sex with you, they will hang out with you, but they will never marry you. In a man's mind, they want you as pure as possible, even though you might have 5 kids and they know you've had sex, but in their minds, they want to view you as pure as possible. So if you're doing all of that stuff with someone you're just dating or just met, they're looking at you like, hey, I'm going to enjoy it, but this is not long term for me. Listen, ladies, stop trying to prove your worth through sex.
Mm, that's good.
It's not necessary. Hold off until, look, reward them once they put a ring on it. If that's what you want. If that's what you want.
If that's what you want. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Nice, nice. Great advice. Great
Mhm.
conversation. Definitely something that, you're the first sexologist on the show. So I'm like, whoa, this is like, I know people are going to
Mhm.
enjoy the conversation. I think it's empowering. It is empowering
It is.
because it's a different way of viewing sex is part of our life.
Mhm.
It's not, if
Yes,
Yes.
you can't, it's part of creation. It's part of
that's
what,
right. It's
so
hereditary. We wouldn't be
Yeah.
here without it.
Exactly.
there you go.
Yes.
Well, thank you so
I
much,
love this. I love this.
Sean. I
You're welcome.
appreciate. If
Thank
you have
you.
any final words, share it. Or Maria, if you have any final words, you can
No, this is
share it
a great
now.
conversation. I had a lot of questions running around too. I know we're running out of time. One of the things I'm thinking of is just culturally, being a Latina, like you don't like downright, you just don't talk about those things.
Right.
But like you said, we are sexual beings and it's necessary to be open
Mhm.
about it because we all engage in it at one point or another. And like you said, hey, we're all here because somebody had sex, right?
Correct.
Like downright, that's how it happened. And you don't
Correct.
want to think like, oh my gosh, my parents, but hey, we
You
got to
said my.
about
No, I don't want to see my
yeah, I don't
parents.
want to think about but
That
that's
makes.
how it happened. So it would just have to be, kind of have some humor to it, right? But also
Yeah.
be open about it and just, not be so old fashioned, I guess, about it, right?
Man.
It's interesting that you say that, right? I mean, listen how we talk about it, right?
Hmm.
It's, old fashioned about it. Be
Right.
open to it.
Yes,
It's
yes,
like,
yes.
well, what is this you all talking about? What is this thing you're talking about that you have to be open to what everyone is doing? Like, I don't get it. You're already open to it because
Yes.
you are doing it, you have done it, and if you are doing it, most times you want it to be better, right? And
Yeah.
so let's shift the way we
Yes,
think
yes, yes.
about, experience, and explore sensuality and sexuality, right?
Yeah.
Let's shift that because it's the beauty of it. It's a connection, it's
Yes.
intimacy, it's
Hmm.
it's all of these things that feel good. And you go to school and you learn what not to do. You go home and you learn what you shouldn't do and don't do, and don't
Right.
touch them, and don't get pregnant, and don't have this, you're gonna get
Hmm.
an STD. And then you go to church, you're just going to hell. Where do we learn that it's a beautiful
Yes,
expression?
exactly. Right.
It's a
Mm,
connection that you have with someone,
Yes.
right? And so we have to stop looking at it as we have to be open minded to something that everyone is doing
Hmm.
and crave it and want it. But the reason why we're not having great experiences is because we see it as something more than what it is.
Hmm.
It has nothing to do with the relationship that you're in, it's truly the connection.
Yeah.
mm, that's
Love it.
good.
Enjoy
That's
Mhm.
the
good.
connection, everybody.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you for being on, Sean, and
Thank
sharing your
you.
expertise. And Maria, thank you for being a co-host and bringing amazing topics as always. And thank you to all the viewers that are watching. We appreciate you, especially being on this early in the morning. We definitely
Love it. Love
appreciate
it.
you. So, if you have any questions or you guys want me to bring a different expert, you can definitely email me, womenselfdevelopment@gmail.com. And definitely make sure you follow us at Women's Self Development. Then remember, we do have that Wise Women's Support group where you can go. And if you need a little bit more support, you want to listen to more conversations or videos, we have that free community there for you to take advantage of. So, again, thank you so much. God bless you guys. And you guys have an amazing week.
All right.
You
Bye.
too.
See you next week.
Thank you. See you next week.